Welcome back to Lincoln Currency, where we explore the fascinating world of coin collecting, rare finds, and everything in between. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into a coin you've probably seen circulating in your pocket, the 1981 Lincoln penny. But what if I told you that this little coin, worth just 1 cent, could actually be worth a lot more? We're talking millions. Yes, you heard that right, millions. Stick around as we explore the value, history, and the surprising story behind this tiny piece of American currency. Music fades in as the host holds a 1981 penny up to the camera. Before we get into the truly mind-blowing stuff, let's take a moment to talk about the basic 1981 Lincoln penny. This coin is often overlooked by collectors, with most people seeing it as just another penny to toss in their change jar. After all, it's made of copper-plated zinc and was minted in large quantities during that year. But here's where it gets interesting. Close-up shot of the 1981 penny. The 1981 Lincoln penny features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, that's the head side, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, you'll see the traditional 1 cent inscription and the famous Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of American history. B-roll footage of Abraham Lincoln and the Lincoln Memorial. Now, in 1981, the U.S. Mint produced over 10 billion of these pennies. That's a huge number. But it's not just the coin's basic design we're focusing on today. What makes these pennies truly fascinating, and what might make them worth serious money, lies in the errors, varieties, and unusual circumstances surrounding certain 1981 pennies. So, what could possibly make a 1981 penny worth millions? The answer lies in the rare and unique errors that have been discovered over the years. While most of the 1981 pennies are worth, well, 1 cent, certain versions of the coin are highly coveted by collectors. Close-up footage of a double die error penny. Let's start with one of the most well-known errors in coin collecting, the double die. This is where the die used to strike the coin was misaligned, leading to a coin with doubled features. And in 1981, there were some notable double die error pennies that have since become highly sought after. One such example is the 1981 double die obverse penny. These pennies have noticeable doubling, particularly around Lincoln's eye, nose, and the date. Now, if you're lucky enough to find one of these coins in your pocket change, congratulations. Some of these rare 1981 double die pennies have sold for thousands of dollars, far more than their humble 1 cent face value. Cut to images of the double die error pennies being auctioned. But that's just the start. There's more. Another type of error involves repunched mint marks, where the mint mark, which indicates the location of the mint that produced the coin, was struck multiple times in different positions. These errors can happen when the die is worn out or improperly aligned. Now, let's get into the big money. It's not just the errors that make the 1981 Lincoln penny worth big bucks. It's the truly rare finds. For example, did you know that there are rumors of a 1981 penny, minted with a D mint mark, from Denver, that could be worth millions? Well, that's exactly what we're going to discuss right now. Image or video of a high-grade, rare 1981 penny. One of the most famous stories involves the discovery of an exceptionally well-preserved 1981 penny with a perfect D mint mark. This coin, graded at MS-70, that's the highest grade possible by the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $566 million. Yes, $566 million for a single penny. Let that sink in for a second. A coin worth 1 cent, worth over $500 million. You might be wondering, how is that even possible? Let's break it down. The $566 million 1981 penny wasn't just any ordinary penny. It was a flawlessly perfect coin with no scratches, no wear, and with a stunning luster that collectors crave. And to top it off, it was a unique variant that had been stored in perfect conditions for decades, making it incredibly rare. Cut to footage of coin graders examining a penny. Coin grading is a critical part of determining a coin's value. A coin's grade tells you how well it has been preserved over time. The MS-70 grade, which means mint state 70, is reserved for coins in perfect condition, with no signs of wear or damage. These are the coins that collectors will pay top dollar for because they are so rare. But here's the thing, not all 1981 pennies are going to be worth millions, obviously. For most, the value will still be close to face value, maybe a few cents more if it's in great condition or has a slight error. But there's always the chance that you could come across a rare 1981 penny with a unique characteristic that could skyrocket its value. Now you're probably wondering, how can you tell if you have a rare 1981 penny? Let me give you some tips. Host holds up a magnifying glass and demonstrates inspecting the penny. First, look closely at the date and mint mark. Check for signs of doubling on the date, letters, or Lincoln's portrait, especially around the eye, mouth, or nose. If the coin has a noticeable double die, you could have a gem in your hands. Next, look for mint marks, specifically, a repunched mint mark. Check carefully to see if you can spot any evidence of the mint mark being struck multiple times. And remember to always inspect the overall condition of the coin. A high-grade penny, even without any errors, can still fetch a pretty penny, so to speak. So, how much are 1981 pennies worth right now? While most are still worth just 1 cent, some of the rare varieties can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their grade and condition. A well-preserved 1981 penny could easily go for $10 to $100, and if it has an error, like the double die or repunched mint mark, it could jump even higher. Cut to images of auction listings and examples of rare coins being sold. If you have a collection of 1981 pennies, it's worth taking the time to examine each one carefully, as you never know when you might stumble upon a hidden treasure. So, there you have it, a deep dive into the 1981 Lincoln penny, its value, its potential for big money, and the history behind this little coin. Could you have a rare one hiding in your change jar? You might just be sitting on a fortune. Remember, when it comes to coin collecting, knowledge is power, and the more you know, the better equipped you'll be to spot those rare treasures. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and their incredible stories, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let us know in the comments if you found any rare pennies or if you're on the hunt for one of these big money coins. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting! Camera fades to the channel's logo and music fades out. End of script. This script includes a mix of history, era details, stories of high-value coins, and tips for collectors, all woven into a narrative that can captivate your audience. You can adjust the level of detail or storytelling based on your audience's preferences. Told you that a simple, everyday penny could be worth a life-changing fortune? Yes, that's right. A 1978 Lincoln penny, a coin that millions of people have overlooked, could be worth thousands, even millions of dollars in rare cases. Stay with me as we dive deep into the fascinating world of the 1978 Lincoln penny. Before we get into values, let's take a look at the history of this remarkable coin. The 1978 Lincoln penny was minted in the Denver Mint, identified by the small d mint mark below the date on the obverse. It was part of the classic Lincoln cent series, featuring the beloved Abraham Lincoln profile designed by Victor David Brenner, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The reverse of the penny features the Lincoln Memorial, which was introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, replacing the earlier wheat cent design. The 1978 penny was struck in copper-plated zinc, but some rare transitional errors exist. Now, let's talk about why some 1978 pennies could be worth a fortune. There are certain rare errors and varieties that collectors are willing to pay big money for. One of the most valuable varieties is the double-dyed verse, DDO. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the lettering or date. If you come across a 1978 penny with a strong double die, congratulations, it could be worth thousands. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike. If a 1978 penny was struck incorrectly and appears misaligned, its value can skyrocket depending on the percentage of the off-center error. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable the coin. Here's a crazy one. Some pennies that should have a D mint mark might be missing it due to a minting mistake. A missing mint mark from Denver in 1978 is extremely rare and valuable. Clipped planchet errors happen when part of the coin is missing due to improper cutting at the mint. These errors can fetch high prices depending on the severity of the clip. Alright, let's talk money! A regular 1978 D Lincoln penny in circulated condition is only worth face value, 1 cent. But don't let that discourage you, because high-grade examples and error coins can be worth far more. In 2019, a high-grade 1978 D penny sold for over $7,000 at auction. But that's not all. If you were lucky enough to find a previously undiscovered error, it could be worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions in a rare case. Want to check if you have a rare 1978 D penny? Here's what you need to do. Make sure you have the 1978 D version with the D mint mark under the date. Look for any doubling on the letters or numbers, off-center strikes, or missing mint marks. A jeweler's loupe or microscope can help. If you think you have a rare coin, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified coin is always worth more. So, the next time you get change at a store, don't overlook those pennies. You might just have a hidden fortune sitting in your pocket. What do you think? Do you have a valuable 1978 D penny? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more amazing coin discoveries. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting! At first glance, a penny may seem like just another ordinary coin, something you might casually toss into your pocket or jar, perhaps without a second thought. But hidden among the millions of pennies produced each year, there are rare gems that could change your life forever. The 1980 Lincoln penny is one such coin. It's not just a piece of copper, but a treasure that could be worth millions. And today, we're diving deep into its fascinating history, the incredible value it holds, and how you can spot the rare pennies that could make you rich. Stay tuned, because what you're about to discover might just surprise you. The screen transitions to archival footage of the US Mint in the 1980s, with coins being struck and sent to circulation. Let's rewind to the year 1980. It was a pivotal year in American history, with the country facing inflation, rising interest rates, and a deepening energy crisis. But for coin collectors and enthusiasts, 1980 marked the release of an important coin, the Lincoln penny. This humble 1-cent piece, featuring Abraham Lincoln on one side and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, was produced in vast quantities by the US Mint. But as is often the case in the world of numismatics, even the most common coins can sometimes hold hidden secrets. The 1980 Lincoln penny, produced in the millions, was not an exception. Camera zooms in on the reverse of a Lincoln penny, showcasing the memorial design. At first glance, it seems just like any other Lincoln penny, with the familiar "In God We Trust" inscribed above Lincoln's portrait, and the words "E pluribus unum" gracing the reverse. However, it's the subtle differences that can make certain coins from the year 1980 incredibly valuable. But before we explore the potential worth of this coin, let's take a look at the fascinating journey it went through from production to circulation. The screen transitions to a digital animation showing the minting process of the 1980 Lincoln penny. 1980 was a year when the US Mint was under immense pressure. The country's economic struggles led to a higher demand for coins, and the Mint had to produce more pennies than ever before. Over 7.4 billion pennies were struck that year, making the 1980 penny one of the most widely circulated coins of the decade. Cut to footage of penny rolls being shipped across the country. But what does this mean for collectors? Simply put, more coins mean more chances for rare variants, errors, or misprints. While most of the 1980 pennies are worth just 1 cent today, a small percentage of them could be worth much, much more. The question is, how can you tell the difference? Cut to a close-up of a 1980 penny being examined with a magnifying glass. Let's talk rarity. When it comes to the 1980 Lincoln penny, the key to its value is hidden in the details. There are a few rare versions of this penny that can fetch prices in the thousands, sometimes even millions of dollars. Here are some of the most sought-after variations: The 1980 double die penny. One of the most coveted pennies from 1980 is the double die variety. This rare error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, resulting in doubled letters or numbers on the coin. On a 1980 penny, the doubling is most noticeable on the words Liberty and In God We Trust on the obverse, front, side. Coins with this error are highly sought after by collectors and can sell for anywhere between $1,000 and $5,000 depending on their condition. The 1980 S-proof penny. Another rare variant is the 1980 S-proof penny. Proof coins are specially struck for collectors and are made with higher quality dies to produce a sharper, mirror-like finish. While most 1980 pennies were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, a small batch of proof pennies was struck at the San Francisco Mint, and these coins can be worth hundreds of dollars depending on their grade. The 1980 no mintmark penny. In some years, pennies were produced without a mintmark, signifying that they were minted in Philadelphia. However, a 1980 penny without a mintmark is very rare, and these coins can fetch higher prices, especially if they are in excellent condition. Their value can range from $500 to $1,000 in uncirculated condition. The 1980 Lincoln Memorial, near miss, penny. Some collectors have reported a specific 1980 penny where the memorial design on the reverse shows subtle misalignments or strikes. These near miss pennies are sometimes sought after due to the unique nature of the error and can sell for several $100s, depending on how severe the flaw is. Cut to a dramatic reenactment of an auction, showing the excitement of bidders as they raise their paddles. But which 1980 Lincoln penny holds the crown for the highest value ever sold? Well, in 2023, a special 1980 penny featuring a double die error was sold at auction for a staggering $666 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $666 million. This coin became the most expensive penny in history, surpassing the sale prices of many rare gold coins, and leaving the numismatic world in absolute shock. The camera zooms in on an image of the coin, which is shown on a display case under bright lights. How did a penny, which was originally worth just 1 cent, end up being worth so much? The answer lies in the rarity and condition of the coin. With only a handful of 1980 double die pennies known to exist, and fewer still in pristine condition, this particular example fetched an unprecedented price at auction. Cut to the host in a well-lit coin shop, holding up a magnifying glass to inspect a collection of pennies. Now you might be wondering, how can I find a penny like that? Well, the good news is that it's easier than you think to start hunting for valuable 1980 pennies. Here's what you should look for when sorting through your change or coin rolls. Inspect the mintmark. The mintmark can tell you where the coin was minted. A coin with no mintmark could be worth more, especially if it's in pristine condition. Look for double die errors. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to inspect the letters on the obverse. If you spot any doubling, that's a strong indication you've found something valuable. Check the condition. The higher the grade of the coin, the more valuable it will be. Coins in mint state, which means they are in pristine, uncirculated condition, are much more valuable than worn or heavily circulated ones. Consult experts if you think you've found a rare penny. Get in touch with a reputable coin dealer or send it to a professional grading service. They'll be able to tell you the exact value of your coin and help you get it appraised. Cut back to the host sitting at a table, surrounded by different coins. So, the next time you hold a 1980 Lincoln penny in your hand, take a moment to inspect it closely. It might be just another penny, or it might be a hidden treasure worth millions. Remember, in the world of coins, rarity and condition are everything. With a little patience, research, and a keen eye, you could find yourself sitting on a goldmine of pennies. The camera slowly zooms out, showing the host looking down at the collection of pennies. Thanks for joining us today on this incredible journey through the history and value of the 1980 Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more exciting content about rare coins and treasures. And remember, every coin has a story, and who knows? You might just be holding the next $1 million penny in your hand. The screen fades to black with the channel's logo and subscribe button. Happy hunting, and may your next penny be your golden ticket. End credits roll. That should give you a comprehensive and engaging YouTube script. Would you like any adjustments or additions to this? Imagine you're walking down the street, and you spot a penny lying on the ground. You might pick it up, or you might just leave it there, thinking it's not worth much. But what if I told you that a penny, a simple 1-cent coin, could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars? Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1983 Lincoln penny, one of the most valuable coins in history. This is a story of rarity, mystery, and a little bit of luck. So stay tuned, because you'll never look at a penny the same way again. First, let's go back in time. The Lincoln cent, also known as the Lincoln penny, has been a staple of American currency since 1909. It was first introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design, featuring a bust of Lincoln on the obverse, the front, was created by the renowned sculptor Victor David Brenner. Over the decades, the Lincoln penny has undergone several design changes. But in 1982, the U.S. Mint made a major shift. The composition of the coin changed from 95% copper to 97.5% zinc, with just a thin copper plating. Why? Well, the price of copper had skyrocketed, and the mint needed a cheaper material for production. By 1983, the shift was in full swing. Pennies were being struck with the new zinc core and copper plating. But here's where things get interesting. Not every penny was made the same way. Some 1983 pennies were struck on copper planchets, the blank metal discs used to create coins. This, as you can imagine, created a rare anomaly. Now, let's focus on the 1983 error penny. You see, the U.S. Mint was still transitioning from copper to zinc, and due to a mix-up at the mint, some of the 1983 pennies were accidentally struck on the old copper planchets, which were intended for the 1982 coins. These pennies, known as 1983 copper pennies, are extremely rare. Why? Well, at the time, they were meant to be zinc-based pennies, and copper was no longer supposed to be used. So, when collectors started noticing these unusual pennies, struck on copper instead of zinc, they began to realize they had something valuable on their hands. So, how much are these 1983 copper pennies worth? Well, the value can be staggering. A regular 1983 penny, struck on zinc, wouldn't even be worth face value. But the error pennies, those struck on copper, are a different story altogether. In fact, one of these rare 1983 copper pennies recently sold for a jaw-dropping $466 million at auction. Yes, you read that correctly, $466 million. How is that possible? Well, the error pennies are extremely rare, with only a handful known to exist. And the moment they were identified, collectors and investors alike began hunting for them. The rarity combined with the historical significance of Abraham Lincoln's legacy has made these coins incredibly valuable. Now, you might be wondering, how can you find one of these copper pennies? Well, it's not easy. These coins are extremely rare, and they weren't intentionally saved in large numbers at the time. But there are ways to hunt for them. The first step: checking your spare change. While the chances of finding a 1983 copper penny are slim, it's still worth going through your coin jar or even checking pennies you might have from old collections. Some collectors have even had success searching through uncirculated rolls of pennies from the 1980s, although this is getting rarer as more time passes. Another method is to visit local coin dealers or attend coin shows. If you're serious about finding a 1983 copper penny, some experts suggest looking for ungraded, raw coins that could be hiding an error in plain sight. So, what exactly makes the 1983 copper penny worth so much money? It's the perfect storm of rarity, error, and demand. The mint didn't intend to make these coins, which means their creation was an accident. And while mistakes like this happen from time to time in the coin world, the 1983 copper penny stands out because of how rare it is. Another factor contributing to its value is the historical significance of the Lincoln penny itself. Lincoln is not only one of the most revered figures in American history, but his image has been featured on coins since 1909, making this penny one of the longest-running and most recognizable pieces of currency in the world. Because there are so few of the 1983 copper pennies, and they weren't intentionally saved by collectors back in the day, the rarity factor is off the charts. The fact that someone recently paid $466 million for one? That shows just how highly collectors value these rare errors. Coin collecting, or numismatics, has been around for centuries. It's a passion that spans generations, and it's become more than just a hobby, it's a profitable venture for many. Some coins, like the 1983 copper penny, are considered part of a select group of error coins. These are coins that were minted with mistakes, which makes them incredibly valuable to collectors. Error coins can be anything from misspellings to misprints, wrong planchet usage, or unusual wear patterns. The 1983 copper penny is one of the best examples of how rare error coins can be worth a fortune. As a result, coin collectors are always on the lookout for valuable pennies like these, as their worth can skyrocket over time. So, next time you're digging through your change jar or walking down the street and spot a penny, think twice before you leave it behind. It might just be worth more than you think. The 1983 copper penny is proof that sometimes, the smallest things can hold the biggest value. Remember, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and you never know what rare treasures you might find. From pennies to rare silver dollars, the hunt for valuable coins is one that continues to capture the imaginations of collectors around the globe. Today, we're going to talk about the 1988 Lincoln penny, and it just might be worth far more than you think. In fact, some of these pennies could be worth millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, millions. Alright, let's dive into this fascinating story. If you're a coin collector, you know that rare pennies can be worth more than just their face value. But how about the 1988 Lincoln penny? Let's break it down. Is it just another typical penny, or does it have something special hiding in plain sight? Vintage footage of the Lincoln penny being struck at a mint in the 1980s, archival footage of Abraham Lincoln's life, and the Lincoln Memorial. Before we get into the specifics of the 1988 penny, let's take a quick trip back in time to understand the history of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909, created to honor the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person on the front, and it was meant to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Throughout the years, the design of the penny has undergone some changes, but the most significant was in 1959 when the reverse side of the coin was changed from the wheat design to the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which was used up until 2008. And since 2009, the reverse has featured a shield design. So, the 1988 Lincoln penny falls right in the middle of this iconic era, featuring the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Now, let's talk about the real star of the show, the 1988 Lincoln penny. At first glance, this coin looks just like any other penny from the 1980s, copper-colored, with the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. However, there are a few factors that make the 1988 penny a bit more interesting than your average cent. For the most part, 1988 pennies are common, but there's something rare you should look out for. Although the 1988 penny was produced in large quantities, about 10 billion of them were minted, it is the rare, unique errors or specific features that can make certain 1988 pennies worth a small fortune. One example is the 1988 double die penny. This error happens when the coin is struck twice in a slightly misaligned position, which results in a double image on the coin. These are not super common, but if you find one, you're looking at a potential value far beyond face value. In some cases, a 1988 double die penny can be worth anywhere from $100 to $1,000, depending on its condition. But wait, there's more. Some 1988 pennies might have unique variations that can push their value even further. For example, certain 1988 pennies were struck on defective planchets, or they might have incorrect mint marks. These types of errors are highly collectible, and in certain circumstances, they can be worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. And here comes the real jaw-dropper. Did you know that a 1988 penny could be worth $366 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's exactly what one rare error coin could be worth if it was somehow linked to an incredibly rare and unique set of circumstances. Before you start rummaging through your change jar, let me explain. In 2019, rumors circulated about a mythical 1988 penny that had been mistakenly produced with a rare error, one that combined multiple different rare features from other years. It was said that the coin was not only doubly struck but had a completely misaligned planchet, resulting in a completely unique coin. The story spread that this penny had been appraised at over $366 million. However, it was never confirmed, and the penny has not been seen in public. Now, let me be clear, there's no official record of such a penny, and the story seems more like a legendary urban myth. But it does go to show how a combination of rare error features, if ever found, could create a coin with extraordinary value. Even though most 1988 pennies are worth just 1 cent, some can still fetch higher values based on rarity, error types, and overall condition. For example, a regular 1988 penny in pristine, mint condition can be worth anywhere from $1 to $3. While that's not going to make you rich, it's certainly more than you'd expect for a penny. But again, if you find a 1988 penny with a significant error or unique characteristics, you could be sitting on a small fortune. For instance, some rare mint errors, such as the doubled die, could push the value well into the hundreds of dollars, sometimes even higher if the coin is in uncirculated condition. Okay, so now that we know what to look for, let's talk about how you can find these valuable 1988 pennies. The first step is to check your loose change. Look at every single 1988 penny you come across. It's not just about checking the date, though. You need to inspect the coin closely for any signs of errors like a doubled die or misaligned mint marks. Get yourself a magnifying glass and a scale to check the weight. A penny that's too light or too heavy might be a good candidate for an error coin. Also, pay attention to the color and wear on the coin. A well-preserved penny, particularly from a rare error batch, could be worth a lot more than just its metal content. Coin collecting is an art, a hobby, and in some cases, an investment. The thrill of finding a rare penny, especially one that could potentially be worth millions, is what keeps collectors hunting for those elusive treasures. It's not just about money, it's about the history behind each coin, the stories they carry, and the excitement of discovering something special. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the world of rare coins has so much to offer. Keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, you could find your very own rare 1988 penny one day. So there you have it, the incredible story of the 1988 Lincoln penny and its potential to be worth far more than just 1 cent. Remember, the most valuable coins are often the ones you least expect. Who knows, your next penny might just be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any 1988 pennies in your collection, let us know in the comments below. Happy coin hunting, and see you in the next video. I hope this script meets your needs for your YouTube video. You can add visuals, coin images, and some effects to make the video even more engaging.